stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? And you know I'm feeling good like that, so what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. I'll save Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. I stand back and I watch you explore. Imperfect visions like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, 'cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to move. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to.
Welcome all you NECC faithful. It's time to get live, loud, and right up in it as we got some Rocket League tonight. It's a wonderful Wednesday, which means your faces are in our spaces, as well as we get into some collegiate, good old vroom vroom. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside one of the greatest returns of the greatest voices, of the greatest calves, and the greatest man I've ever seen in my life. It is Pyro J, dude. How have you been? Welcome back to the NECC desk. It is so great to be able to have you. How is the middle of your week as we get ready for some Rocket League?
It's wonderful. It is great. It's even better now that my calves have been impressed here on the screen. We've walked many an elite esport landscape together, Hail Monkey Man. So I guess it makes sense that we've trained them to this stage right here. An important stage. The NECC Rocket League action begins or continues here for some of the teams that will begin. Cumberland, that we're seeing in about an hour, has not played their first match. So we'll get their first match on the screen here, but we have Division 6 action to kick us off, Hail Monkey Man. The Eagles of Eastern and Ithaca Blue take on for our first best of 7.
This is going to be a fun one because there's a little bit of history between these two. They were both in the Northeast B division of actually Div 5. So that for that little micro conference, they were able to go through. Both of these teams came up short for hitting into the stride of the spring playoffs as well as the nationals. So trying to be able to come back to it. But when you look at the total rosters, there's some familiarity here, especially when you look at the Eagles with Fallen, Squishy Shark, and Nerfa. Those three have not changed since the spring. With Ithaca, you got a little bit of something different. You got Greens and Lukey edits, but they brought in NECC. So the Bombers trying to switch things up here in Division 6 and, you know, both going from that 5 to 6, trying to see where they can be able to get themselves in proper stride.
Yeah, and a proper stride that hopefully is a stride that continues throughout the match, because we went from best of 5 last year to best of 7 this year. So let's get into it. It is game number 1 of that long best of 7 series, and we're getting things started off hot with NECC.
Oh my goodness, already the player that to watch to see if the difference will be made right now. And they do so almost immediately. Biggest thing that happened last time around, Eagles were able to take it 3-1. But like you mentioned, that was when it was BO5. And so this time around, trying to make it with 7. Big save by Fallen to not let it be 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's important to note that endurance for these teams, because you can get off to a hot start, Ithaca. There's nothing wrong with that, but can you hold it? Rocket League's all about those adaptations that are made over time, and certainly for the Eastern Eagles, it's going to be true that picking up the pace with Ithaca is going to be of utmost importance.
Nerfa trying to kind of spread the field there, put it over the archway, and seeing if they can be able to find a teammate. So both these teams taking a quick glance at the back line and the back third to see how much they can be able to just take over. I like the step back by Fallen right there, hoping to get some level of a fake, maybe some of these 50-50s. Lots of pinches being attempted right now off of defensive players, and they're trying to take advantage when all eyes were on Fallen for a moment.
Hey, listen, pinches create the most exciting plays. Out of pure happenstance, the ball can open right in front of you or appear in front of the net. For Fallen Realms, this is a great chance to pinch off the ground, though it is mustered by Greens, who takes away the chance. Everyone's trying for pinches and for bumps, but it's that awareness of the defense that's keeping them resilient.
Hoping that there's going to be some level of mistake. Oh my goodness, Fallen! He lets that one fall. It goes off a back-flipping defender, but eventually we break open to a 1-1 tie.
Talking about the resilience, how can you keep the wall up against Fallen Realms with that dime of an aerial? Track that off the backboard nicely, right over top of the defense to tie it up.
So it was a couple of quick sprints, but eventually everything had to go sideways, and the Eagles came to roost onto Ithaca back doors, and the Bombers are left in the wings. Nerfa hoping to make a connection there, is given a lot of airspace to work with, and you actually have a setup by Squishy Shark. Nerfa, maybe one extra touch, they will have them tackle in the box, but that one's still coming up with more attack out of the Eagles.
Oh, and I'm really impressed there from Nerfa. It's hard to coordinate your car to get that ball to a teammate, but they did so quite swimmingly, and it's going to end up in the Shark feasting.
Oh my goodness, right back around, and Fallen has been involved in both of these now. He's gotten the first goal, the setup on the second one, and it was Lukey who was hoping to drop right onto that ball. One of those difficult things that you and I both know, you're playing that backboard defense, you want to drop straight to where that ball is, but sometimes gravity has a different idea.
The game has a different idea. I swear the pixels move different when you're trying to drop off the backboard. Tracking that ball is something easier said than done, but I don't know. I gotta say, right now, Eagles making it look like this game is a little easier and these goals might come a little simpler, nearly off Ithaca Eastern scores.
You would love to make this one a 4-game series like they did in the spring. Remember, there's a 3-1 whenever they faced off. I think it was around week 5 or week 6 with one another. So a little rivalry right now between both Eastern and Ithaca. And it's still the Eagles that are brewing with victory in mind. This time around, if it was 4, it'd be a straight sweep. Fallen Realms, he's going to the top level. He's trying to be able to be a decoy because he has no extra boost. Still, the shots are coming in aplenty. Eastern is giving Ithaca all they can handle in game 1.
Certainly so, but how much more can they provide? Right now, it is 6 registered shots. This will be a 7th off the crossbar. Greens is the 3rd defender to try to come under the wing and help this Eagles team out, but there's still more to take away. Actually, it is the Eagles still hammering away at this backboard, this net. Lukey off the backboard, another save by NECC. Somehow, some way, this ball game's still at 2-1.
Oh, they are throwing everything possible. Some of these pre-reads on some of these saves out of Ithaca, you don't want to have the commentator simply have to talk about your defense the entire time. They have only let up 2. I cannot wait to see the stat board about the total saves here, Pyro, because with the way that they've been just having to deal with this barrage, they finally get something to counter, but it's only in the latter 69 seconds when they finally see blue grass.
Yeah, will we see the other end of the field even 5% of the time than we saw? The other one, I think we will. Look at this, off the bar and in. Lukey, and it's finally able to turn all those saves into a goal.
Hey, an offensive push, it doesn't matter how brief, it just has to be efficient. On the opposite side of the scoreline, you're going to see 15 shots one way, maybe 3. And it's kind of a tie ball game for all the pressure for that 2.5 straight minutes out of the Eagles. We are tied with less than a minute to go.
Reminds me of one of those character builder games where if you can put all your stats on offense, then Ithaca did that. They forgot the defensive side. Can they hold on and put away some of these shots that are coming in? Green's already trying to set up that success once again. Squishy Shark, does lay into that one, but a long clear may put Eastern back in command.
This is why all of my stats go into charisma, and we just hope that my words do what my actions cannot. So far, actions are showing out of the Bombers. It could be a sprint upfield, but Lukey will be able to give both of his teammates a chance to at least survive. This is on target. It's got to be Fallen Realms that finds a connection. They do so. Less than 10 to go. This one moving up. Can the Eagles find a swiftness? They do find the drift into the back box. They're going to aim for this one to fall. So we go OT in game numero uno.
Gonna take a little extra work to get that first win, and that was apparent before this game even started, but it's even more clear now. A save made there as Greens contends against it, wants to hold this possession that they've struggled to keep for an extended period of time. Good read off the corner to set up for Lukey Edits. It's a dime back to Greens. He takes it with an aerial, goes for the reset, puts it under 2, nearly past the 3rd, and the shot will go off.
Just keeping his car nearby, all of an omnipotent threat. 2 players were biting. Eagles were nearly flying out of the roost without the ball being gone, and the last man had none in the tank, and still, these blue cars see this one with that plus sign on the timer. There's a man coming in. Watch out. Greens is looking for another shot. Everyone all hands on deck. The Talons have got to let go, and they've got to fly out of here.
Whoa. Lukey off the ceiling nearly takes it away. Interception almost made. And defender demoed on the other side. If Squishy Shark gets that shot away, it's straight in their net. Defense is once again looking fickle as players like Greens have set up camp on this blue end. You'd think it's a matter matter of time before the shot finds its way in. That one's just wide, but the ball's still off the corner. NECC sets up for a shot, but it's Luki, and it's down the other way. Off of the post and in. A long downtown shot from Fallen will do it.
A tale of two different types of games. One played in 5 and one played in a minute 22. It was non-stop Eastern Eagles giving Ithaca all that they could put in their basket, and they were able to carry it into an overtime. Then it was Ithaca, the Bombers, with 11 shots. I had said they would have 3, Pyro. I swear they grabbed the other 8 while we were in overtime, and the Eagles get one big clear, and they survive. Look at nearly 1,000 points out of Fallen. That dude was crazy.
And we expected all those shots to come in, like you said, from the Eagles. But the biggest highlight is that 6 saves out of Fallen Realms. The only 6 saves made out of the team. So talk about really putting your reliance on a player on the back line. But Fallen Realms says, hey, so be it. It's game day. I'm going to show up. And that Fallen did. 2 of the 3 goals for the team as well, including that long ball, which closer to his own goal line. I still can't believe in that dominance. He was able to coordinate that angle. I think we may have to keep the limelight on Fallen as we continue on in this series, because they're doing wondrous work here already in game 1.
I mean, 22 shots between both these teams, and already showing that the rivalry is definitely very much alive from all the way in that Northeast Division, and now playing it here right now. It's very cool to see both these teams bringing it, because you had mentioned they're both 1-0, a great start from the beginning of that season. So we'll see, or rather this season. So we'll see if it continues on. And Fallen was doing great work off the rip. You got the 1 goal to really open things up for the Bombers. So we'll see if things will be the same way as we go into intros of game 2.
Well, Fallen's already has a save. So it's, I mean, some things, yeah, just don't change. We're already answering questions here. Squishy Shark looking for Fallen downfield, nearly passes it right back. I don't know, Hail Monkey Man. The connections are just looking better and better here for the Eastern squad.
Yeah, this is a team that, again, they probably are thinking, all right, we should have scored several times. In regulation, Nerfa, all right, he just hit the angles, drops an opportunity into his lap, 1 solid challenge, keeping nearby, and then he finds it off the nose. That is keeping with your opportunity in that shot.
Speaks to the momentum as well, like following through on your shot is important basketball. Well, it is in Rocket League too, because your opponents just may not be ready for what you're putting in your own lap. So yeah, great from Nerfa to get the scoring started, and it's gonna be an open one. Quick equalizer out of Green.
Something about the Bombers here, Pyro, and using these fakes really at point-blank range. NECC went kind of nearby, played for the undercarriage touch. They, in fact, were qualified for one, so NECC is going to, actually, it was Greens that will follow up for the rest of it. So Ithaca has really played with the Eagles in their own home to either make mistakes against them or simply to set up their teammates.
Or put up some dimes. That one from Greens I thought would be in, but you heard the ricochet off the crossbar, and so we go again. But Greens is a player who will not be denied of extra opportunities. Look at the chance there for NECC, set up by Greens, and now Greens up again. This guy fuels up on boost and attacks the net better, more quickly, more frequent than any player on this field.
Really is trying to find a way to get this rotation to be a tri-headed force. See if they can be able to have more than just a single ace up the sleeve and the tip of the spears. So Greens, they'll have to get some of that mid boost. A couple of whifty-whifties coming through. Luki's going to elevate to this one. Doesn't even need the extra touch. They actually wombo combo between two. That leaves this one to be an open net. This one will be assuredly in. They made it just underneath into the top shelf, and the Eagles take their lead back.
You sort of spoke it into existence there, Hail Monkey Man, talking about the trident of Rocket League, allowing all 3 players to be a part of the offense. It was Greens that double committed with the teammate, led to the opening in the back end, and surely taking advantage of it was Eastern Eagles. So that adjustment needed to be made here midway through the series. That or Greens can just keep scoring.
It's about being in the right place, right time. Sometimes a man gets nearly 1,000 points. Sometimes the Dominus does a Dominus thing and it flies by. 2-2.
2-2. That is one thing that is true. You put greens in the right place, right time, it'll execute. And off the kickoff again. We're going to see this one be in a bit of a stasis. Squishy Shark trying to get it around towards the net, but easily handled here from NECC and Lukey. It's a more of a conservative offensive effort here out of Eastern Eagles. The game is tied after all. They've got time to maneuver around, trying to get those infield passes working, and this one goes intercepted and cleared the other way.
Ithaca want to replicate what Eagles have been able to do now a couple of times. Once deep into an overtime, and otherwise in recency for the goal that got them at least a momentary lead. They're finding those moments to really get those larger clears, take advantage of a third man gap. It's been a lot more apparent and aware and exposed whenever the Bombers come through. Green's a step too far. Third man will be able to not find it, actually. NECC is going to be punished, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Fallen Realms from distance. He will snipe it up into another 1-goal lead.
Knock, knock, knock. Who's home? Nearly nobody. Again for the Ithaca Blue defense. That third man always willing to inch up a little bit closer, which, hey, in fairness, is part of what provides their efficiency on the attacking end. But boy, oh boy, has it caused them problems as well. Striking when the iron is hot as Eastern Eagles. They're trying to do it again here. Squishy Shark jockeying for possession. Fallen taking it to the skies as well for the aerial challenge. Look at how evenly matched these teams are, meeting each other in the skies.
Trying to do what they can right at that midfield pipeline as they kind of ride that mid-column, everyone going upwards and hoping they get a piece of it. Squishy Shark has actually gone to go and read like that, but the second effort, trying to get the Bombers out of their own home and out of their own way, Eagles have gone to just direct dueling at that midfield. That is a heck of a shot. Look at Fallen out here. He found that one from across the entire pipeline.
Fallen must have come down like an angel to put up an angle like that. That was miraculous effort from Fallen. We've seen the angles earlier. That game winner of the last one, the 1,000-point game. Fallen at 500 right now, so we probably won't see 4 digits, but we're still seeing that impact.
You know what's crazy is that Ithaca are the Bombers, but the long bomb game has been won by the Eagles so far. You've had 3 of them, and then these redirects, that's a nice direct line shot. They have a full commit, and Fallen will just not be denied. He's a menace to Ithaca.
Got to be more awareness on the defensive end. Fallen jumped way too early, telegraphed the shot from a mile away, but still unable to set their feet are Ithaca. I think this team can definitely use the reset that this end of game 2 will provide them.
The good news is that, you know, now that everyone in all divisions are playing best of 7s, they have the time. That usually you don't get that, especially that you could be walking into a match point if we're in the spring of this year. But now that we're going into the fall, you have the ability to analyze your opponents, and you get to see players like Fallen put up more stats against you. Unfortunate if you're a Bombers fan. Trying to make up what they can. That pipe was the 4th man helping out Ithaca to keep that one from being 6.
You know, it's a pretty big arena, Hell Monkey Man, but I'm pretty sure every car was within a few square inches of each other there for a moment as we broaden the microscope's lens and get across the field once again. Tell you what, it is early in the season, but signs of life and only things to improve on, increase the strength of right now if you're the Eagles.
Yeah, that right side post was looking like my ranked 4v4 games. Everyone just in one spot. I'm like, they made this map bigger. Why are we all here? Well, 20 seconds to go. This one is far and wide away from being another overtime game. Trying to get something off of the front face of the crossbar and seeing if they could have a consolation to go for later. But as we hit 10, Ithaca Blue is going to be thankful to write this one off and go into a game 3 that still doesn't have match point quite yet. But the Eagles looking like they're soaring as well as they were before.
And they'll call game as well. That R2D2 decal, I think that's what that is, from Squishy Shark, is happy to stay put and recharge for the next game. And you know, I talked about it before the match started, is that the adjustments made in Rocket League, these long best of 7s, are what's the most important. And for Ithaca, part of the improvement seems pretty clear. That third man on defense isn't always set for the long clearing goals of the Eagles. Limit the double commits, have that rotation available, and maybe you'll be able to easily bring that Eastern Eagles scoreline down from 6. But we mentioned it as well, Hale. This is the second game of the season. Both teams have wins. With this maybe being the first time that you're losing if you're Ithaca, do you have that adjustment capability within you?
And something to also kind of keep away if you have some of the seniority on this squad that is over on the side of Ithaca. Greens, I mean, he came up with the 6 shots. I would get to at least a couple of those goals for this team. The last, 6 games that you have played against the Eastern Eagles, you've only been able to take 1. That's from the spring and into now. You don't want to make it a total of 8 and only have taken 1 in that capacity. This rivalry, it burns. It's just the same type of collegiate that I love to view. But this is a settling point. You and I have seen it at the Pro Sphere that 2-0 is great, but it's not a 4-0. There's still time. 5 minutes. Let's hit game 3.
Let's hit it. And we're letting the sparks fly early on. Demolition from NECC to Nerfa. Letting them know their presence is very aware. No wins for Ithaca quite yet, but at least a demo on the board. And how about a save as well? Green's the sharpshooter of the team, making it happen on defense.
Green's doing a lot with very little. I think he had a pad in his tank. Not only did he put the one offline that was going to be yet another bombing clear. Looking for the redirect. Oh, my goodness. Love that look. Taking some creativity. About to rotate out of the box. Little backflip trying for the threat.
Lukey took a second to change the gear to reverse and said, hold on, put the right hand on the passenger seat and nearly scored it. But they still got a chance here on the possession. Greens will secure the goal from NECC's look.
What is with Ithaca players and backing stuff up? It worked this time around as Greens comes through to secure the bag. Wow. You know, sometimes you're just like, oh wait, I was leaving, but let me try again.
It's the importance of having ball cam. You know what I mean? A lot of players will go up ball cam, get boost on the back end, but if you keep that camera on the ball, you'll know. Sometimes going in reverse can help.
Again, Eagles have often swarmed. They have flocked onto more orange precedences here on Ithaca grass, but it's been denied here in the first couple of minutes. Greens is going to play this one slowly. NECC is going to end up falling onto someone's face, and so says Greens, as Lukey will have to draw up the sword and see if they can be able to take this one down. It's a 1v2, and again, Ithaca has shown us a lot of flashes of wanting to play very kind of ego card driven, where they go for big fakes and seeing if they can make the Eagles bite.
They have, and it's up to Eagles to, keep their wits about them. They did just get that 6-2 victory. I think they have all the reason and more to stay composed in this game. And Fallen to go for chances like these. Again, Fallen's kind of that player that you want in the driver's seat, literally and figuratively. Command the charge for the attack of the Eagles, especially on these counterattacks where those angles just look so good.
Battlefield commander needs to know when to tell his troops when to pull out, when to be able to maneuver. He takes at least one touch to the sidewall, and all of Ithaca, reminder that their defense, it did stand up strong in game number 1. It let loose a bit too hard in game 2 after what was a very, very arduous overtime. Nerfa trying to set up yet another one, but Eagles are coming up short. And in fact, this is going to be a long ball. Ithaca, wow. Nerfa closed the door, and suddenly Fallen is there to try and put a threat upfield.
What a play from Nerfa, closing the door, as you mentioned. A narrow angle it would have been, and it was Greens behind the play for Ithaca. That's exactly who you want closing down that opportunity, and really does. Toot the horn for what a save that was. But Greens, he's trying to hit that left flank again. This time, takes it.
Just a handling too far for Nerfa on this last one. And you see Fallen cannot find a connection. If it's the Dominus hitting, 90-mile-an-hour shots, or if it's just doing quick flicks and unable to make a connection, that's just Dominus things. Fallen was unready for them to just immediately put a fastball down center lane, but he's got a flip reset, and it takes 2 to shut him down.
Certainly does. This is the moment for the Eastern Eagles that you get flying once again. Just need those saves. You got to lock down Greens' attack and then start going back to form. Put those plays together that coordinated 6 goals in the last game, and it does start here on a possession with Fallen trying to take out goal line defenders, but they'll miss that demolition. Pass back to the infield, but it's taken out by Lukey.
Very mindful effort to try and take that one from around that sidewall and looking for someone to drill. That's going to be a freebie. It's dropping in to anyone. You send 2 shooters, and Ithaca will connect. 81 seconds left to go. Fallen put this one high, but Greens has been bullying Fallen, not letting them have a moment of rest.
It is. It feels like those two running the same routes over and over and seeing who can stretch a little higher for the ball. And as of late in game 3, it's definitely been Greens, an impressive and, showing for this player. I'm especially impressed by their awareness this game because a lot of demos are being gunned for by the Eagles, but Ithaca, they're steering clear of it all.
Remember, Greens was from the previous semester, so there's a lot of leadership that is probably coming through them as well as Lukey, just making sure that NECC feels comfortable. The Bombers finally getting an identity here in this series. They had a stellar couple of offensive runs. 50 seconds is still enough to make it happen. Fallen will take it away. I believe it was Squishy Shark that had put the bopper back on, but it was Fallen had gone to the sidewall, just 1-2-1, just to make sure they at least get one here.
Same way as at the beginning of the game, NECC had that beautiful goal, and Green said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and secure that. Make sure that's the back of the net. Goal's a goal at this point in NECC. You're gunning for those wins. You're gunning for that lead, but there's a lot more to do for the Eagles for that lead.
Awkward position for Nerfa, but there is time. That's one thing that Ithaca needs to be mindful of. Eagles can be able to score at a moment's notice. They've been able to counterplay them very well. Fallen gets on top of the ball. It's going to be up to Nerfa to put a shot on. It's going to at least come off of one defender. They don't want to send too many. Ithaca is looking at it. Oh, a side flip. NECC went airborne. They have a chance to turn on this one. They have another one as the goalie comes out of the box. A 2-man rush. It's stuck on the ground, but that is just not enough time to turn. Eagles tried, but the latter minute was all Ithaca as they take this one 3-1, and they finally put a blemish into this series. They're going to keep themselves alive.
Felt like I clicked on the hockey game there for a second. The last 30 seconds were a power play from Eagles, but Ithaca still save after save, keeping the scoreline at 3-1. Getting their first win of the series. So I doubted Ithaca, just in terms of making the right adjustment, right? For me, it's early in the season, but you spoke instead, Hail Monkey Man, to the veteranship of Greens on this team, able to steer that ship right and get Ithaca on top.
This is a player in the last 2 games of this series. Even in the previous loss, I think it was like a 6-2. He had 6 shots in the previous. He has 11 shots in 2 games. There's obviously a lot of fortitude in Ithaca and the Bombers that runs through Greens. Be it him taking it immediately, just seeing what is left behind by Eastern. This is definitely a guy that knows, hey, we have unfinished business. We saw what happened when we were in the Northeast. We've brought it over into this division now. Let's see what we can do when we're still fighting a foe that we've seen before. So far, they've put their first foot down. They've denied being in 3-0 position to be straight swept. That's your first step to try and even up the series.
Yeah, they've taken a few steps here. I mean, and another one that we called out was keeping players like Fallen at bay, right? Yeah. Greens has been stuffing them left and right. And as well, that third man on defense, again, not allowing the counterattacks from the Eagles to be as fortuitous as they've been. So here we go into game number 4. Eagles still have the upper hand in this series, but it is Ithaca with potentially some momentum to work with.
Just enough to remind Eastern to get into the gamer lean. This is not going to be a vacation of week number 2. You've got to make sure this one works out. Squishy Shark going for the bump attempt. Great navigation by Lukey. He was under 2 people trying to be able to get in his face. Great. Oh, but this one goes right back around. NECC is going to aim for a quick dash. Oh, my Lord. How did he navigate that?
The spontaneous awareness of Ithaca on defense continues to impress me. You mentioned Lukey on that 1v2, and then NECC, no boost, but was able to wave dash and pull that ball out of scoring position. Just really good in that situational moments here for Ithaca.
You got to keep your head on a swivel. Talked about it a few times at the beginning of the series, and some of these challenges, You mentioned that, especially when they were doing it into Fallen, they recognized, they put a marker on Fallen. They're like, hey, get this guy. There is no way that we can just continue to let him get so many points and so much action. So put just a marked man, seeing what can happen in the middle of the pitch. Ithaca is now kind of going all in. It matches the way that they've been doing these challenge ego steps. This is a nice bouncer. Nerfa just seeing what sticks. This one will give them an early lead.
And there you see it, Fallen hassling Lukey on the back line. Nerfa, great shot accuracy there. You got to put it around the defender. This isn't lazy offense. It's not just being in the position and hitting the ball. No, this is active attack here from Eagles and Ithaca. They've been quick responders. Right now they have the ball on the other side. Another backwards play. This one from Greens, but Fallen able to take him out for the time being.
That defender's nose is sniffing any other angle, and that thing will be ricocheting, and we get a tie ball game. But a bit of pinball still falls in favor with Eastern. Drop in possession, picking it right back up. All three players hoping to find these collisions and this forward possession to work out. Unfortunately, NECC was trying to keep up with very little in the tank. But it was Lukey, rather Greens, that goes right back to work. As there's going to be a back pass. NECC was given the good to go, maybe for a go-ahead goal. But 2 minutes have eventually elapsed. Is it going to be only the one game they gained this series like they did back in the spring? Ithaca is pushing at the door.
Yeah, it's hard to tell at this point. I mean, I'm almost surprised that we're at the halfway mark of this game because you just expect the goals to advance and develop as it's gone. But in reality, these teams are getting a better understanding of each other. And because of that, it becomes more difficult to get past these learned defenses, these tried and true defenses, these walls that once again are put up. Ithaca able to somehow clear that out.
All the Bombers just looking at that ball, and it was Greens that tapped it lightly. He's just like, all right, everyone pause. Hands out the window. Don't touch this, please and thank you. And eventually they at least come away cleanly for the moment. You do have Fallen. He's on that sidewall. Better watch out. That's a setup for what? A teammate. I don't know if he has anyone on the counterposing wing with Nerfa coming through. He wants to give now Squishy Shark a chance. They've done a little more than kind of plink it into the hexagon, so this has not gotten worse for Ithaca. Have a moment to let this one slow bounce, get some extra boost, and get your thoughts about it. They don't have to rush a lot of these attempts, even though the clock is ticking to the last 100 here for Game 4.
It is. Stay composed. Get that opportunity where it comes. Go for those goal line bumps. I like that play. Nearly sets up for NECC, but instead of the ball, they pick up a demo. That will advance the attack, but not if Fallen has something else to say for it. Clears to the midfield line. Nerfa the long shot. That one's in. Tough one to navigate there for NECC.
NECC had this first touch. He was thinking he was going to give himself plenty of time or his teammates to do the same. He has no boost, looking for sidewall, and as soon as you come out, it is such a rough angle. I think that actually just went right around his top back right fender when he came flipping from the wall. It is an unforgiving bit of architecture over there. So 2-0, Eagles might have already done enough, but let's check out the last 75 seconds.
There's a reason why those bot games, the bot gets stuck on that post, you know? The post is so unforgiving, and hey, you can't even safely stay around it on defense, or else you get demoed. Coming out with the fireworks again here, Eagles. Try to pick up their third goal. Nice bounce off the wall here that Squishy Shark will take advantage of. Fallen, try to keep him in the paint and keep the sweat on the brow of the Ithaca squad.
Team pinch together, trying to find some magic late here in Game 4. Ithaca does not want to go down to match point, but I also don't want to have to pay my taxes. Something is gonna break, and someone may have to be answering to the tax man. Fallen with that solid challenge leaves it up to the Bombers to find at least some power behind this sphere. So far, it's been individual efforts. Greens, he's playing it low, but the speed from out of the defense keeps the Eagles just clean.
It's the right idea for Greens, but where's the next step? Everyone ready to prowl on this ball. Fallen the final defender, but you don't need more than that. Fallen has done the work, reminiscent of the near 1,000 point game we saw them in overtime, able to clear the way, the path for the Eagles to get on match point.
3-1, matching what they did the last time they played against Ithaca, but this is best of 7 That means there is at least one more game to go. The Eagles have done no worse than having 7 shots per game, by the way. This time around, they get 8, kind of in that 8 to 9 average-ish, but they have a very consistent offense. It's just about who hits. And this time, it's Nerfa that was given the nod, as Fallen and Squishy were able to be more of a utility kind of residency. Ithaca is still green at the top. Greens has got to be where they get mean.
It is. That's where the aggression has to come from. And it has to be enough aggression to get past the stalwart defender of Fallen. Because, yeah, Fallen's not the one on the goals this time, but continues to be the top saver. The one with the savior medal this time around. And it's just a tough Dominus to get past. Normally, I hate on the Dominus. I'm going to be honest. You know, I have my Dominus era, but that was like almost 10 years ago. But there are still a few players out there that like to rock it, and Fallen does it well.
Look, I went back to the Dominus recently because of that one pass where they put the extra, stuff on top. I was like, all right, this looks kind of retro. It looks kind of nice. So
Okay, all right.
Let me, and then
Style points.
When you get the corner of that car, there's so much unnecessary power that I love. I'm like, this is about to go up and down the pitch. It's not even going to be accurate, but I want that power. And the same has to be said for Eagles, as they want to be able to finish out this series. They, in the last 2 series, if they win it here, will have kept Ithaca to just 1 game each. That's something that Ithaca wants to improve on.
Something that Ithaca wants to improve on. It's something that Eagles want to remain consistent. Say, this rivalry, what rivalry? Win after win, best of 5 or best of 7. It is us, and it could be them with this W if they keep what they got going. Ithaca, what can you do here now on defense?
First minute, really going to be indicative of the tone. Ithaca does not want to go down like a baby bird. Flightless and otherwise, they need to keep soaring up, but it's Fallen. Look at that player continuing to just be the one that sets things up. Oh, his teammate just a step later. He thought maybe he'd get to watch the clip happen before it gets posted on socials. Nerfa, they had the last 2 goals, trying to dive their way through. It's a full team commit here. Out of the Eagles, they're going to touch one down. It hits the pipeline again.
I mean, how long can you really survive here? Falling off the crossbar. Nerfa with another shot that's just wide. And Squishy's Shark so hopeless in getting that possession to continue as they're wiped off the screen. Nerfa not allowing this Ithaca team to get really past the midfield line. They're positioned quite nicely around these attempted clears of Ithaca, and Eagles just giving them no room to breathe.
Yeah, they've barely been able to gather any boosts. You see one player with full, I think that is in the form of Greens. It's Greens! If it's anyone, it's Greens! Ithaca lives and dies by Greens!
They really do. Oh, man. The court is painted in green for a reason. It's all owned by that player right there. They say, you want to keep me in my defensive half? Fine, I'll just score from there.
It's their pitch, and we are just living in it temporarily. So, Ithaca weathering the storm and the swarm of the Eagles. First 2 minutes go away, and Ithaca trying to now double up this lead. Maybe doing so because Lukey is no slouch. He's there to help secure, but it's Greens. It's always Greens. He finds one from the right.
He's making our job pretty easy here, Hail Monkey Man. Hey, Greens took a shot. And Green scored. How about it? And that's not even an easy goal to get. You have 2 defenders covering the near side. Strikes the far corner. Goes up 2. Feeling like we're far from over with this series.
You're probably going to see Lukey like in the locker room be like, hey, I was there too. Because he didn't sweep it. He swept that corner. He brought it all the way around.
That's
and
right.
He actually stood as a backboard ready to receive. So Ithaca is running with confidence now. Eagles have suffered underneath this. And the last time we saw them in a 2-0 hole, it was actually the Eagles that fell, I think it was 3-1 ultimately to give them that game number 3. So Ithaca is feeling like some newness of history might be forthcoming.
Could very well be the case. And Eagles have to really scratch their heads here because they've spent so much time with possession of the ball. How do they have nothing to show for? But with 2 goals needed, it is still 2 minutes remaining. They've got time on their side.
playing with a deep third. I feel like that's the smartest thing that you can possibly do. And then they start slowly cycling around. NECC is going to have themselves a loose ball play. They go for it off the sidewall. A very smart demo as they get rid of greens. So not going to be on the tip of our tongues just for the moment, as Lukey hopes to take on at least a 1v1 against Nerfa. All of these direct line fake outs and playing for just like basically the Euro step, seeing what you can do against the Eagles. They put one directly into the defenders, and you're seeing more physicality pop up from Eastern.
Yeah, it's very impactful. And we'll see yet another. It's Lukey. Is this a shot demo combination? I feel like I gotta see this on the replay again. Yeah, Lukey says, I'm putting that ball in the back of the net, and I'm putting you in the shadow realm. Goodbye.
Talking about Euro step, looking like France and 3v3 ball back in the Olympics.
Ooh.
Goodness gracious. Just so you know, it's very physical. For some reason, the street ball gets crazy over there. But it's a 3-0. We were here a bit ago. Make it a fourth. Wow, Ithaca, where are you bombing in from?
It's the power of friendship. Lukey showing off with greens. And I love it. We have really hammered away at this team earlier on in the series about the double commits, but this team can really make anything an advantage.
When it works, it's like a coach going for it on 4th down. It makes you look like a genius. When it doesn't, you're calling for the pink slip. You want to see him drive away. A minute to go. Wow. Hoping for yet another one. Maybe to break the Eagles just enough. Ithaca has taken advantage of what the Eagles have given them. Nerfa will find perhaps one for the road. There's still technically time.
There is. You know, this feels like a morale booster. And I mean that in the most sincere sense. Like, this Eagles team needs a pick-me-up. You've got to feel exhausted after spending the first 2 minutes with possession of the ball, but find yourselves with a minute remaining and nothing to show for. Now they've got something, and Nerfa's back behind the ball, nearly gets it past with a flick there. Greens is up, Greens takes the shot, and Greens back to form, scores.
I'm going to go ahead and write this game forward as an Ithaca W. I feel like even with 38 seconds, Eagles have shown us that they can score quickly, but when Ithaca's defense is keyed up, they know that they don't need to spread this pitch. They don't need to get long with it, go into those 2-1s, find those double commits. They do clean up very well, and they force an arduous task of navigating through it by the Eagles. Eagles, they're going to come up short here. Now, the key note will be, how does game number 5 go? Because they still need a lot of work. Rather, game number 6 go to see if they can make a game 7.
Well, there's one team on these two sides that would love a game 7. And there's another team that doesn't. So I'm with you. Game 6 is on our radar. It's under our magnifying glass. Both teams are ready for it. A strong showing out of Ithaca to push us forward.
Eagles still got some work to do. Ithaca's got to at least make a couple more. This one, again, it's the Eagles still getting an output of 7, but finding 7 shots all on their lonesome is Greens. But that's not to say that there wasn't at least 5 of these. All the goals assisted. Full 100% team participation, but with a Hattie +1 is Greens. Even if sometimes it was in combination, I gotta give love to Lukey. I feel like he's always about to be there when Greens is scoring, but Greens is making sure to secure the package.
It feels like a big brother, little brother situation, especially with Lukey as the name, you know? Like, the big brother just taking the credit where they can. But yeah, Lukey has been there. This team's not succeeding without him. It's so true. And something else can be said here about the Eastern Eagles is their defense is not succeeding without Fallen making the saves. I think this is the first time not only the Fallen doesn't have the most saves out of the team, but has 0 saves. The team themselves only had 2 shown by Squishy Shark. So how can Eagles get that defense back into the position that they excel the most out of, where Fallen is keeping that line stronger?
They need to get the coach one of those little mobile fans, those hand fans, because it's got to be him just completely sweating it out. Trade up the towel that's on that chair, because dude has been running up and down this pitch. He's going to be out of breath. Well, with 5 minutes to go, it can't be a one-man show. It really hasn't been for the teams that have been able to show up, and that's also in the form of Eagles. Ithaca, they've got 2 games to get if they intend to finally take down Eastern. First minute's up, and Ithaca's already upfield.
Look at that, though. I mean, it's Greens upfield, but it's a pre-jump block against Greens. They're going to click the go away Greens button every time that they can, whether it's a demo or a clean block.
Ooh. Eag with an undercut touch, hoping to get a bump. They have the follow-up, looking for the fake. Oh, off the pipe. You have the commit, Lukey. He's like, I'm tired of it. This one's mine. Everyone getting a piece.
Oh, Greens, that was diabolical, and you know it. Lukey there for the cleanup. It's too great. The Ithaca squad so confident after their last strong win, showing it off here in Game 6.
Just full confidence to go to the top of that box and make that slow fake, and then feeding the beast. NECC will get this one. Greens has 2 assists. This one just goes across. Great communication to make sure NECC is cutting from the opposite side.
Really nice angle. I mean, what's clear out of Game 6 is everyone from Ithaca is ready to execute after you have full team participation for these first 2 goals. But is Fallen ready to execute as well? Aerial right off the kickoff as they need something to get going for this offense.
Good news for the Eagles is that was just a 1-minute play. You have 2 goals. You're down in the deficit. The problem is that so far, when Eastern has gone down 0-2, they have not recovered. We have not seen these teams really be comeback style. We saw game number 1, lots of trading. You had 1 goal differences here and there. I love the little pinch step. They did have Squishy Shark just off the wing, but he didn't think that one would be coming. But Nerfa is always there to just try it up the center.
I need another look at this shot. How did Nerfa generate all this power? Oh, it's nearly a pinch off the ground. Just great timing on the shot. You get that power right off the bounce and accuracy as well. I'll tell you what, Game 6, we got shooters. At this point, it feels like who's going to get the most shots to take?
Kind of feels remnant of game number 1. Both these teams have now been sweating it out. We've had the most recent patch, and so now they took all those throughputs of bits and data, and they've turned it into energy. 318. Ithaca does not want to see this lead go away. I think that would be such a mental boom for the Bombers if they end up letting this one kind of slip out. Fallen want to rise to the occasion. He's going to come up a bit wide, so he's going to go for boost and let this one fall outwards.
I want to see the Eagles go for those demo plays as well, or just bulldoze the ball in. How about Squishy Shark just laying into this ball and setting up for Nerfa?
Playing a nice undercarriage touch, and Nerfa's a commit, man. Nerfa is the ride or die. You got Squishy Shark trying to be a bit mechanical, trying to be very kind of field aware to play in opposites and in assistance to Fallen. But Nerfa's just like, you know what? Just set me up, man. I'll try my best. And it's worked out twice.
It has twice. Not good enough quite yet, though, as the ball game's back to tied. Ithaca's steam-rolling attack has been pushed back for a moment, and Fallen could push it back even further. Corner read leaves more to be desired, as they're unable to find a teammate. Lukey wants to take this all the way. A double tap off the far post. Greens just too late to the punch.
Oh, wow. Lukey trying to showcase what they did in the spring as well, alongside their longtime teammate in Greens, hoping to find their way back into this game, because I'm not going to lie, I've been losing the sound of Ithaca because I feel like they have been muted by this attack that Eastern has been putting up. 2-2, and the 2-minute warning coming up here in game number 6. Hoping for a Game 7 berth. A chance to finish it off, but they barely get a piece.
Up top, though, where's the opportunity from? Squishy Shark puts it right down the middle, sets up Fallen for the double tap. It's water falling down. Fallen nearly has the angle, as does Nerfa with the center. No, doesn't find a teammate. They had 2 rotating out of the opponent's net. Could have made the connection. Instead, it comes from the half-court line.
Nerfa gives his life and finds a hat trick. Puts it up just as they get knocked down and out of existence right as they get bodied. Oh my lord, Ithaca was under fire for so long, sending everyone. You talked about how they were trying to be able to at least find that upfront connection, and then they were just running out of boost, seeing what they could do with zeros in the tank. 90 seconds, it was 2-0. Now, finally, Eagles breaking the pattern. They get 3 in a row. Can they keep it up?
And it might just be behind the player of Nerfa, who has been the closer, been the finishing factor for this team. Fallen in search of Nerfa, but they had to rotate actually back to get the boost. So it's Squishy Shark at the midcourt line. Sets up for the passing play, but Fallen's rotating out. 2 different ideas in mind for the team there, but they will retain possession. Fallen and Squishy Shark double committing, but that still clears the lane for Fallen to close another goal.
Beautiful demo. This one is, I mean, right now there is 55 seconds, but with the way that we're starting to see the efficiency of the Eagles come right back into this game, I feel like Ithaca might have used what was left of the fuel in their tanks. See if they can be able to find something early. It must be in the next 20 to 30 seconds if I want something realistic. Nerfa with that Hattie, can they make it an extra? Big save out of Lukey to keep it reasonable.
Unbelievable save out of Lukey. How do you find the crossbar there on the recovery? That may have just given the life that Ithaca need here for the comeback shot. Set up by Fallen. They want to call game. They may have just done it.
Arms in the air, towel thrown. Eagles, they bring Fallen, and he's dropping bombs on the Bombers. Ithaca's had to deal with this player the entirety of this series. And even though they had an extra game brought up, I think that this might be just enough. Ithaca's got an insane amount of work, and they're going to have to get some bonus credits just to get a passing grade here.
You think 3 goals in a row for the Eagles would do it for the win from Nerfa, but Fallen said, no, there's still a star of the show that needs to be showcased. And boy, have they done it. 2 clutch goals to bring them to 5. One last-ditch effort here for Ithaca. You see the shot there from NECC, saved by Shark. Everyone's at the ball. The Eastern Eagles will fly high for the Week 2 of NECC Division 6 with a 4-2 win over Ithaca.
Keeping up the winning streak over Ithaca since the spring of March 20th this year. They were able to take this one going forward 4-2 fashion with 14 shots, by the way. That first 2-0, Pyro, must feel like a mirage for Ithaca here in game number 6, because 5 in a row go Eastern, just looking like an efficient killing machine as they soar directly into that back line. But gotta give love to Nerfa for all the props that we spoke of Fallen, and we continue to do so, and I feel like it's well earned. Nerfa was like, you know what? I'm gonna take control. I'm gonna be able to be the finisher for my squad.
And that's when the team is down 0-2. That was in the moment that you were saying when this Eagles team goes down, they don't tend to get back up. But Nerfa, like we said, had other ideas in mind, completely swung the momentum back in this team's favor. And you know, I'm going to say it. That reminds me of the RLCS World Championship Grand Finals. The MVP was given the Beast Mode. Daniel kind of carried that team as they went on, but Beast Mode was the closer of the series. And so, Nerfa, you look like Beast Mode out there, clutching it up, and might just deserve the MVP title. What a match.
Good old Div 6 players. You know what? They're just like the pros, and so are we, because we'll be taking a break. We're going to go into our Div 1 matchup here in all of a moment. You don't want to go too far. More NECC Rocket League coming at you in just a moment.
Go on myself. I'm cold, still stainless. My glass half full. Always said, don't suffer no fools. Serpent, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Kinda cold-blooded, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I have. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon.
I wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain. But I got memories that run through my veins. Mhm. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe her, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down, and I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feelings you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm can't seem to slow down, and I don't know if I want to.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Follow the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. There's a place Do you? Am I fire? Do you? Do you?
to you. I gotta get to you.
You have it.
We're back. Thank you so much for your patience. We're getting into more NECC Rocket League. I'm Ham Monkey Man in the booth alongside Pyro J. By the way, Shout out to Pyro J helping out with our producer to be able to make this next one happen. It's a Division 1 matchup between two Zero greats, one that actually qualified, the other one showing up a little bit later. It's going to be the Phoenix of Cumberland versus the Panthers from out of Davenport. My man, tell me about it.
I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, some logistical issues to get things going. Rules state that due to how players joined, it is going to be a 1-0 start for Cumberland in this matchup. So we'll get the overlays fixed for you very shortly here, guys. It is a best of 7 with the 1-0 start of Cumberland. They were in the lobby, and oh my God, Davenport is also in the lobby. Pulte with a double tap attempt. Cam as well, both off the bar as we keep this one rolling.
We'll go sprinting through this game, and then we'll give you some cool ideas and some cool thoughts as it goes from what these teams have been able to do in recency, not just CRL, but as well as some lands in specific. But still, the way that Davenport likes to play, this is a team that came up like OC in the previous year, looking like one of those squads that kind of was just developed, suddenly appeared out of nowhere to really challenge the titans of the scene. Cumberland, this is a squad that's been able to kind of intermix things from across the pond and more.
Oh, absolutely. Cumberland featuring the English player of Polar and the German player of NECC. Polar we talked to extensively just yesterday. He's really excited about getting this competition underway. Has had some mixed results at the start of the season, but is extremely confident in his team. Feels like they play a chaotic, but a very good chaotic approach to the game of Rocket League that makes others have a difficult time deciphering their playstyle.
Taking away the fast standard of those 1-2 midfield passing plays, that's been really kind of the bread and butter of upending expectations. So Cumberland is trying to survive with that in mind. They've actually got a backdoor man on the other side with Brock. Brock was waiting for that one to plunge across. So Davenport trying to force the Phoenix to go squawking into the night. Remember, they do have at least that first game, but they're trying to even that one almost immediately, turn this into a best of 5, a setup, a knockdown, a save. That sequence was nasty.
Okay. Everyone's come out to play, that we know at this point. Balls off the corner here. Brock trying to get the sneaky angle around the defense. Unfortunately, couldn't make it happen. But everybody's proven to be strikers at the start of this one. Again, NECC trying to do it from the ceiling. That pinch doesn't quite work out. Ball's taken across the field here by Cam, and Nightya tries to find the aerial route around as well. Hardline defense on either side. NECC bullied by a pre-jumping Cam and generates the first goal.
Cumberland eventually breaks down. We get a 1-0, more than a half of a game into this first one. The first counted for the Phoenix, but this one is real time. And the Panthers, they have gone through the gauntlet in the previous iteration. They are an absolute powerhouse. They went to that top sphere of the LCQ in Division 1 in the spring, and then they ultimately just didn't find their way through the playoffs and that group stage. So trying to fight their way back. They definitely have kept the Phoenix pinned back, but Cumberland is knocking just at midfield, but only briefly as Pulte bolts down.
They got the power to be the top of Collegiate. There's no question about it on coast-to-coast plays like this. Cam, a flawless gliding maneuver to find Pulte upfield for the 2-0 lead.
So 2 up. Davenport looking very strong. Honestly, even if it's just to kind of even the field here, Pyro, it's going to be a solid look. Cumberland has been a bit short-handed. Feels like they've been able to answer some of these defensive calls, but it's been so expeditious. And when you have teams that want to be non-standard, when you have teams that want to be clever and chaotic, if they never really get out of their own back half and gain speed, they can't execute the way that they want to.
That's a fact. Listen, if there's going to be any team amping up the speed, though, it is going to be Cumberland. You saw Polar there trying to cherry pick off their opponent's backboard. Just that connection couldn't be found, so Polar will have to do it on the other end. Next, out of boost and really out of possibility on that ball. Called off on the players. Polar extends it instead. Next, once again off the ceiling, nearly finding that pinch play. I want to see that pinch convert one of these times, and they're going to want to see a goal convert because we're down to that final minute and still nothing for them.
And pick up where they left off, hoping to make some of these reads. Davenport has been keeping this very close to the vest. 60 seconds to go. Polar's going to be rounding this corner, and Cumberland's just looking for a spark of life. The Phoenix hoping to come back from these game 2 ashes in consideration to what was that DQ timer win. Davenport apparently took that one with a bit of a chip on the shoulder. Yo, with the toss over to Polar, but they don't have a lot of boost to make this work. They're already trying to punish them just for peeking over the midfield line.
And this is looking punishing even more so. Bolte bullied in their own net next, trying to generate something, but Cam's on the other side of the field. You know that angle's getting hit. He'll willingly sacrifice himself for the play.
It's going to be a 3-up. All right, so that one should put it completely in square, out of reach. Cam with the give-and-go turn, and that'll be Cumberland that sees themselves all tied. So with this one, it's all of making sure the timer hits 0. Davenport has done plenty of work. They go for a possession play. Cumberland trying to find something. They might very well do so, but even the Panthers will deny it here. Feels like they've been answering every single riddle here in game number 2.
There it is. Your first win on the field will go to Davenport, but it will even out the series. Once again, unfortunate the way that goes, but at this point, we're moving right along in this series with a goal apiece, either team. With how even these teams are, that seems about right.
Yep, that's very true. And all right, let's talk about the recent history. It was Cumberland that actually went over and got tested going into that Scenic City land. You had mentioned that they kind of felt a little bit topsy-turvy, trying to be into a top 8. It was actually ETSU. Thank you so much for correcting me earlier about not being ETTU. That they end up having to fight against in their CRL qualifier. So this is a team that is in that top 8 of the literal national sphere. Whereas Davenport, they came up short, and they're having to do it against a squad like Winthrop. So there's a lot of national contention, and maybe Davenport's trying to prove their pool was just a little bit tougher than what Cumberland perhaps had to face off.
I mean, listen, when you have to play Winthrop twice in a row and you got to play Guarantee and Tinker, I totally understand. Those pools for collegiate we knew would be really tough in the CRL space, but as you can see, they're just as tough here in the NECC Division 1. Now these two teams that have been jockeying for top 8 of the collegiate leagues, I mean, for over a season now, have to do it here. Beginning of this NEC matchup. A beautiful combination of play styles and efforts here that's only getting started.
And Cumberland make a field trip up this pitch into more orange panther prowling grasses. So far, that has been a tough thing to see, and we've had Cam at the helm. I swear I've been seeing that, cotton candy car, but it's been Night Yellow that finally plasters something to the back of the net. It was next on a counter. Oh, they flipped right through that one. They didn't want to see it again.
I think it's the way to go here. We started the game so late. Cumberland has one after this, so we're just going to get through them. You better watch these goals in real time, otherwise you're not getting another look.
Oh, you're making it this one, though. Brock is going to let you know about it. The quick connection. Cam has been involved in everything, all the time, forever. Davenport, the tosser. Cumberland wasn't ready.
Whoa. That's beautiful. Brock was ready for it. And Cam is being titled the facilitator for me at this point, because that is the second time Cam has found an upfield teammate on a quick counter attack. He's got the navigation down pat with the help of the teammates.
403, and feels like that this team is just so locked into this point. They're like, all right, tapping my bare wrist here. No watch there, but you know what it's talking about. It's a freckle past a hair, and we need this series to get completely washed out. Cam sees this one goes over his head, and the Phoenix of Cumberland, it has been a kind of very dare if you do, but damned if you can't. And they've really been unable at many times to be able to find the way into easier stints up this pitch. First 90 seconds finally lapses in game number 3, and Davenport is just clawing at this entryway.
That's how the Panthers do it. The claws, the fangs, they're out in this game. But they do seem more lethal when it comes to the counterattack. When it's this long possession play, Cumberland seems to have the answer when it comes to defending against Davenport. In fact, this counterattack could become something difficult. No, It's handled well by NECC, who follows the boost path, but picks up no container. Leaves the net a little vulnerable there. Naya barely saves. Crossing into the shot path is NECC.
And trying to do it again, over and over again. It feels like an axe is chopping at the door. What is this, The Shining? Because right now the Panthers are looking like a wild man. 2:45. Cumberland, they find a big boom and clear. But that has never given them good, solid possession. They've had a couple of times where it's rounded from the backboards. You do have the boards under fire. Cam gets right in the way. Feels like that rivalry between them and NECC could be the identifier for the proper tone for or against the Phoenix.
Does feel like if anyone wants to be the king of the skies, you've got to get past the NECC. That player very comfortable in that position, and NECC trying to dime up an infield teammate, but just couldn't find someone in the stretches of it. But the ceiling shot from Polar will find the back of the net.
Finally, Cumberland getting it back. One solid pickup. Polar down to a teammate, and again, real time. That's the only time that you're going to be seeing it. But still, when the Phoenix score, they make sure that they do it in combination play. That's been how they are able to find so many quick successions. That's a triple commit. Everyone's outside the net. Still, Davenport can't quite put the next ace up their sleeve. Less than 2 minutes ago, this one has been so quick. Trying to be able to ramp up the pace between the both of these squads.
As indeed, you got to have your head on a swivel as well, because you're seeing the demos come through, and if you're not evasive enough, and you'll become the victim. Even those high-flying jumps where players are running out of boost and landing back on the ground, you're vulnerable in that position as well. You see Bolte land on the ground after missing an attempted clear. But Davenport able to move a little more slowly on defense, but Cumberland waiting for the right time to strike. Naya certainly finds it.
Cumberland finally looking to navigate through this, and you talked about maybe the chaos, maybe bringing it to the floor, playing some small balls, see if they can win some 50-50s, really try to, meg them, put it through the legs, see what you can be able to do with that. And so Davenport has seen this one go a little bit more topsy-turvy. They're unable to execute in those quick 1-2 midfields. Up and over, no. Cam is met in that back third. This is going to be a free-floating ball, but look how much space now Cumberland has been able to earn.
Yeah, they're moving up the field. They're trying to, but Cam has other ideas in mind there. Had the flip for the shot. Does get saved, but they've still got something to work with, it seems. Brock over to Cam. Cam takes it to the corner. Naya's bumped, so there's still the opportunity for a center ball. Cam strikes down, finds a Bolte across the field. They're trying to get it to the net, and after going laterally thrice, they're able to split the defenders.
That's one of those things where you're rotating out. All right, I'm on my way. Let me just see if this redirect will hit. Oh, cool. All right, awesome. Cam finds one for the road. And will that be Davenport getting 2 for the road? So far, it has been a DQ game win for Cumberland. They are up by 1, a half minute approaching. Davenport needs another one to try and either force an OT or just get it working in time. Cam will try for the catch, and Pyro, they've been moving up this pitch pretty quick recently.
They have, but almost too quick than they can handle. You saw that pass go past Cam, and this ball nearly gets past him as well. A heroic save made by Cam, but Cumberland would be too naive to not have the defense set. On the recovery, they need to make just maybe one more save. It's Naya on the ceiling, wants to put the ball on the ground as they earn a second game win.
All right, this one is well earned. Cumberland was looking a bit mute going into that first game, but the first big game, real game, Cumberland comes up with 10 shots to just the 6 from out of both Cam and Brock. Bolte kind of left to be a utility player, and we actually didn't get to see them too much. So we go into a game. What was this, number 1, 2, 3, 4 now? Wait, 2, 3. Yeah,
it's game 3.
coming.
It's just 1-1, right? No. Oh.
No, it's 2-1, right?
It is.
They had the 1-0, and then
it is 2-1 Cumberland. I'm sorry.
So we're going that way. So Cumberland, so the first one goes, and now they're like, okay, even with our little win, we can meet you in the pitch. We're good to go. We're up to speed.
You're up to speed. I'm still getting there.
Together.
But yeah, both teams do get a win on the pitch, so they'll be feeling warmed up and ready to go as we get into what we'll call game number 4. Cumberland halfway there to the victory, but boy, do they have still a long way to go.
I'm seeing a lot of Cam. Like a lot of Cam all over the place. This is Cam just neutralizing what the Phoenix are perched up with. they cannot find a direct answer unless they directly meet the speed of Cam.
Yeah.
So if Davenport's going to be doing what they do, it's going to be a lot with Cam at the helm.
I mean, Cam's had a long tenure, successful one here in the collegiate scene. Everyone knows that Columbia College run that they've had, and world stages for the collegiate scene, and I mean, fits in so well with Davenport and having worked with Brock and Bolte for a season now or two at this point. So the second that they're in. It's really exciting to see, and they just get more and more comfortable with each other, and apparently good at making the other team uncomfortable as well. Some more bumps coming through here in the first minute of game number 4. Nightya putting this one high as it's redirected by Brock to try to find a way out.
Gambit, I think, still owns every major stat line at Columbia College. They shout out, by the way, to that program for being able to collect all that data and also putting Cam's name at the top of it. So he signed off at least a few of those.
Sounds about right.
But with Davenport, he's been looking pretty succinct about how he wants to treat this offense. Run it down, see what sticks, and take that one to the latter 5th. He's going to be challenging into the maw of the Phoenix, but they come out, and they're looking for their first goal.
Cam's going to take this one. Trying to mix me up a little bit with that blue decal on the orange car, but you can't fool me, Cam. I'm on to you. Brock lays that in over to Polar, but it's both Brock and Cam ready to pick it up. Brock opts for the flip reset. Couldn't get past next, but Polar, just can't get back in time. And guess who, Hale?
He's trying to make it all offense all the time, and we collect these stats too. They outpace Polar, who is no boost. They had their teammate just nearby. Phoenix all in one sector, all in one corner, so the tail of the pendulum swinging, and it definitely is finding a lot of velocity into the Davenport camp. 2-0. Just in the first couple of minutes, you would have sworn there's been even more time bled off in this game, but it's just been tons of quick back and forths with the Panthers trying to take a big paw to these birds.
And it's going to come with each goal that they're able to score, but they've got to save these ones from Nightya. That is Brock off the top of the goal. That is him again, and it's Cam this time around to save it. Somehow, Cumberland walk away scoreless.
The 4th man, he only speaks one language, and it's ding ding dong. That is all of the sounds of the ironworks being pelted by that ball. Davenport, they come up at least with keeping a shutout right now here in game number 4. 2:15 and less. Cumberland was able to take that previous game, and there was a late resurgence by the Panthers. Can they find one of their own? And looks like the Phoenix are finding difficulties. They navigate this well. It's an awkward one, but next he'll find it through.
Okay, drop the incoming in the quick chat there, Brock. I like it. He says, hold on, I didn't expect Next to be able to do that. He positions himself around the ball, gets the pinch that puts Brock in a ugly place.
We go through with this game. So far for Cumberland, they split the difference between them now. Finally hitting that 2-minute mark as Davenport slows things down. They are all speed all the time, especially when Cam is kind of that leading vice at the tip of this weapon. Polar with no boost. He's going to have to rely on the wall to really kind of elevate a lot of this. Trying to play clever, maybe play into that chaos sphere. Cam has given him some what for with his trunk. Nightya will continue the same rotation. If they can be able to beat one man, it does open up opportunities, but Polar eventually is given a gift of extra boost in the form of a demo.
Cam's been the one to be the striker, but apparently he's striking off the match, putting out some fireworks here for the match too, as that's a demolition on the Polar. Trying to carve their path one way or another. It's getting hot, heavy, and bumpy still at the center of the court here. Bolte wins that aerial challenge. Tough ball to read that comes off the ground. Brock misses as well, so and Bolte has to recover back in time to clear the ball away again.
Less than a minute for the Panthers. Oh, this one comes right back just as they were trying to rotate. Nightya hoping that they would be able to find themselves some easy grass to move through. Said Davenport has really sequestered these birds of the Phoenix into a tight cage. Next goes for a pre-jump. What a save by Brock. It was a two-man attack out of Nex and Brock trying to bring the Euro step directly into the back pipelines. They've only got 1 goal difference here. Phoenix still trying to find that last extra effort.
And that was some really stylish work there being done by Nex to get upfield. Had Polar kind of chip it back up and try to take the shot. And still nothing goes. That Davenport wall really being put up right now. And Brock even given something to handle in their opposition's net. But Brock might be the last defender here to make a save alongside with Cam. Nex rips us towards the net. But Cam with that last touch just needs to put it to the ground. And nearly that's what he does. Unfortunate touch off the lip of the cage. This one finds space as well, but empty space. Exactly what Davenport were looking for to get to their second win.
Polar looked at Nex and was like, all right, you ended up facing our wall. What are you going to do? And he was like, all right, I didn't expect you to be able to get it that far. Of the 8 shots by Davenport, well, 75% were picked up by Cam. He's got the 2 goals. We said a lot of Cam all the time. Well, it's Cam, thank you, ma'am. As the Panthers will go 2-1 in that game. We're tied in this series. Is this just going to be punch, counter punch this entire time?
Yeah, it sort of feels like there's one player in the ring for each team, though, like representing the squad. Like, I don't know, no footwork, no dance called the can, but I know the Cam can. He can do just about anything in this series. We talked about in their first win, how he was facilitating a lot on the counterattacks, great clears into air dribble flip reset passes to a teammate downfield. Now this time around, right place, right time, right? Just needing to be the striker and getting it through. He had 6 of the team's 8 shots there, 2 of their 2 goals. Sometimes you just need a guy that's going to execute, and he's absolutely doing that. Now, credit due to Bolte and Brock. I mean, I've watched this team very closely, especially during the last season of the collegiate league. They do a great job of creating those opportunities. Brock is a reset machine. Bolte is a high flyer down the pitch when you need him. It combines for this team that can take it against a apparently top 8 squad of Cumberland.
You know, a Hollywood movie star shines the brightest whenever the supporting cast does their job. And if Bolte and the gang, if they aren't noted in the credits, it's because they already got their top headliner. Well, Polar, he's one of those same guys. They went for a possession play off the rip. It was a bit adjudicated early on, but they execute in flawless fashion.
It's that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, something like that. That feels like, oh, me too, what Cumberland are doing here. They talk about an erratic, a chaotic offense, and I feel like part of that is just having position everywhere on the field. You really can't draw up that 3-man play unless you have that coverage on the field, and the passes were directed so nicely. These demos, though, just as impactful. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't go on target, though. Felt like Davenport could have tied the ball game there.
Trying to be able to find that in quick succession. That's an open net. Oh, I say, Polar had so much speed with all of his tank empty. You kind of basically let loose the exhaust pipe and see what would flood out. But at 1-0, Phoenix are going to try and desperately keep their beaks clamped down onto this lead for as long as they can. It's that narrow side, this right side corner. Might be able to have Brock with the dunk as the layup by Bolte. Remember that combination. If you ain't getting Cam on these Swift Psychos, then you're getting those two that are keeping the Panthers up this pitch. But the first minute has come and gone. So with the Phoenix up on top just narrowly.
Credit due to Knight on that defense, just so often on 0 boost, trying to make a stop on the ball, and did a great job of doing that and staying behind to ensure a 50-50 for their team. But now they're back on defense, and next out of the ball game, Bolte double tap on the backboard. That's gotta be in. Brock snipes the top corner.
These two have been keeping so much work forward. If they're trying to mark a man in the form of Cam, I mean, just look at this extra effort. Finding that pancake touch, slamming it out to center, and letting it fly. So good looks by Davenport. They know how to keep the Phoenix into brief offensive pushes upfield, and then they know how to elongate their stay. They take that boost away. I swear, every time I see Polar in our Cam view, he is just completely out of boost. Cam leaves this one floundering. That does come up, and now we go into minute number what? We're 100 seconds in. They're making this so fast.
Oh, they are. This match is breezing right by, as is the ball that it was from Cam. For that moment, it was a little bit scary, and Naya's going to make it more terrifying. How about a little pinball action for this ball to find the back of the net?
What in the world? So Naya, quick flip reset, extends that so much power. Next from Brock. Brock is like, there's not a chance you just did that off the 45. That's fine. Whichever. That's cool, I guess. So Phoenix will get their lead back. Davenport. Ooh. Cam dying off the rip, and our cameraman maybe dying. Okay, no, we're back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you never really know. The producer's saying, hey, come on, can we get on camera B here for a second? And, well, there is kind of a plan A and a plan C, a plan anything for Davenport, because whoever you got on the field, you got some sharpshooters, you got some strikers, but in order to do that, got to move across the field. Cam gets a good ground double to himself. Goes for the passing play again. Slams it down off the backboard, but now he's out of boost. Nearly out of options here as they've got to go recover.
This is the least safe territory on the entirety of this back pitch for Cumberland. That corner has been attacked, I would say, 80% of the time by the Panthers out of Davenport. They are all over it. If they want to hyper-rotate into this position, it's going to be the Phoenix that will have to just buckle down. Polar, plenty of time, less boost. He's got the flip reset, hoping to land onto Naya, who was just tracking and traveling, shadowing wherever Polar was going.
Again, Naya's done so much on zero boost that I certainly thought that shot would go in, but missing the mark on that play, getting past one there, 50 against Cam. Davenport defense, it has to stand tall here because that attack from Naya created a couple problems. Brock back out, didn't want to pull her to ensure the clear, but he tracks it regardless. The situational awareness here from Polar extends to every play, but this ball extends to either side of the court in a flash.
Davenport still with 80 seconds approaching here, Pyro. You need to find one. They have struggled to get through this defense at times. I mean, both these teams very high level to be able to find these rotations. It's been Cumberland with that quote-unquote chaotic rotate that they find themselves on top of each other are very acute lines to travel. And as soon as you're running out of boost, it becomes almost impossible to have to deal with. There's basically no one with boost. You're going to have Polar that finds it underneath. Polar comes dropping in. They have to do a lot with very little, but the Phoenix have denied the Panthers for the moment.
Oh, and Cam nearly steals that boost, which would have been incredible for Davenport to push this offense next. Avoids the bump. If Brock connects on that bump, that would have been it. So many near chances here for Davenport on that possession, but Cumberland survives somehow.
Just survived somehow. Words I've seen in zombie apocalypses. And apparently the swarm is coming out of the Panthers at this point. But they're all looking for gains, not brains. See what they can get in terms of territory up pitch. That's a great give and go. They're trying to be able to find this connection.
Whoa.
They do so, but it hits the pipeline. That's not where they wanted that ball to land. It was looking so pretty, but it comes up short. We've got 10 seconds approaching.
Felt like getting around the defender was accounted for, but not getting it on target. That was what was needed there. But Brock, one last chance with Cam cutting off the angles. Polar, great observation skills there. Cam, the pre-jumper off the ceiling to himself, to the corner, and still save. Naya calls game.
It did not matter what level of creativity the Panthers brought up there. It was just getting knocked aside. 13 shots from out of Davenport. And what was that? It's 10 were posted up against, and then the rest was posts. Cumberland was getting everything that they could possibly handle from out of Davenport. But they now have match point. It's kind of a 2+1 of getting your DQ timer. But both these teams, it's been that sway back and forth the entire time.
We knew it'd be even, you know, whether a game was attitude team or not. We knew this would be close, and it came down to the wire. As you could have seen, that ceiling double from Cam off the pre-jump to place it in the quarter, still saved. The unsung hero of that game was Naya, and it maybe has been out of the series. I talk again about what they've done on defense in this series. The reads, the saves on zero boost, the forced 50s has extended this Cumberland game plan far.
Do we see a game 7? Davenport's going to let us know. I'm sure they're already nodding yes, but they shifted the tides in the way that they were having things work. There's a lot more of Brock and Bolty, seeing those two be the Airbnb styles as they dominated space where Phoenix wanted to roost, and then Cam kind of being the back man. It was Cam much more frontal in the games that they've won. Does that come to play? They're going to delete Bolty from the equation. Cam is going to be the safety net. Still got to find their way up this pitch as Phoenix is starting to surround them.
That Airbnb call might be one of my favorites out of you. That was something special right there. Let's see where we end up staying on this field. If it truly is the orange end, as really Davenport just haven't been able to get out of it. But Brock, has he earned the reset on the turnaround? Not quite. Chip over to Cam. He's comfortable here, even on no boost when he finally reaches this ball. Flip reset to a shot taker that's removed. Should prove a path for NECC.
A little over a minute. I would not be surprised if this ends up being a defensive effort, but sometimes things just break out after about 60 seconds or more. Oh my goodness, this is bullet time. Traveling up and down this pitch as they find it off the forehead of a couple of Panthers. Nice steal by Bolty to keep it locked in and over into bluer grasses. And again, they're operating with very little. Polar finds it after Naya finds a full tank. He's now going to try and challenge, create some moments and some space, but it's going to be a redirect up and back for Cumberland. Cam, he's getting challenged in his own face as well by the Phoenix flying at him.
It's like the creativity of Davenport matched up with the stoicism of Cumberland. I've watched Davenport take this ball east to west, up and down, every angle you could imagine, yet Cumberland just have everything covered. It's really impressive for both teams. We've got that unstoppable force meets the immovable object of Cumberland. It takes everything and more for this Davenport team to score.
It must have been Boy Scouts in a previous life because they're hitting the cardinal directions on that compass, seeing if they can be able to navigate around this pitch and hit that map, but they must traverse where the moss has been untread, see if they can find their way into a new pathway into that back line. This is going to be very scandalous if they can be able to get around that pipeline, but it's going to be a 1-0. You have low boost for the Panthers. Now the Phoenix are giving a dose of their own medicine as Bolty's onto that back wall. He's going to ask for support out of Brock. Cam is going to be the last man waiting out from it. And now he is the next one forward. All the Davenport waiting at the pipeline. They have not been able to move out in the last about 30 seconds or so as the Phoenix start to swarm into their defensive half.
Yet this is a team who defensively has so much chemistry, finding each other on these counterattacks. If they have to play defense for an extended period of time, they won't worry too much about it, but sweat starts to form on the brow once you get plays like this from Cumberland moving. Polar may not have expected to have that angle as the ball was brought down from the backboard there. This one set up nicely, though, for Cam to continue to peruse in enemy territory. Davenport had finally broken out, but can they make something out of it? Polar on that clear says no.
Almost a comical bonk with the way one of those players dropped down, and no boost, no problems. Polar finally breaks the ice. He tosses it high. Next, with this little cut, it was enough to get it away from the defender and for Polar to have a second effort.
Nasty work out of NECC. That touch sealed the deal for the most difficult operation done in this game. Scoring a goal against these hard-line defenses. Good tackle there once again, and NECC craftfully maneuvering around this ball. But for Davenport, it's all offense. It's all attack. They've got to find a way to score.
It's going to be difficult to do. Polar had the ceiling reset. He gets a flip reset. He's got a chance to put it to the backboard. They won't overcommit. Look how deeply they're rotating. NECC is going to just up in Brock for all of a second. He then gets demo. That's huge. Blowing him up before he ever is able to establish some extra opportunity. Naya trying to get a toss to the back corner. Cam cuts it short. 45 seconds left. Davenport started in a logistical disadvantage. They're trying to come up, force this one to go to a game 7, but the Phoenix is here to deny them.
Oh, musty flick off the flip reset. Brock is bringing every tool out of the box, yet The story stays the same. Cumberland have done so much just to get the read. What a flip from Cam up to a teammate. They've crossed that midfield line, but can they cross the goal line? It's Nightya off the backboard, set up for NECC on the clear. Brock in search of a Bolty, sends it again across the field. Cam's just hunting for demolitions, because how else do you clear the path against Cumberland? It seems there's no way. NECC hitting the post, the ball's on the ground, and game is called, series is called. Cumberland come away with the win.
A little bit dicier than the way they had to qualify for the big leagues, but here in NECC, the big leagues are here because these type of high-quality national teams are here as well. So Davenport will go down 2-4 against the Cumberland Phoenix, and it's good to have the looks there because honestly, when we saw Davenport earlier in this game, I was like, this is a team that's possessed. This is a team that is like, you know what? You may have gotten top 8, but we're going to be sniffing at your heels, and we're going to try and show you that we're going to be joining you going into split 2 of that big, huge competition. Do you feel like this is like literally on the same edge, number 8 versus number 9, right into that conversation piece?
Cumberland would argue that they're higher than 8 because they're so confident despite their results, and Davenport would say, screw our results, we're above 8 as well. I think firmly you are on that line with these teams, as you have been for like over a year. And so getting to see them compete against each other tonight was really, really special. And despite one logistical step that maybe wasn't ideal for this competition, we still got these two teams competing at the highest level against each other. We still saw the highs of Cam and Bolty, or Cam and Brock at the counterattack, that offense in that speed that you really just can't beat, versus Cumberland. When they're at the top of their game, you just can't score on them. Again, Nightya, a defensive warrior this series. So impressive to watch. And with Cumberland and what I talked to with Polar, how they've had this rocky start at the season, this is a win they needed and a win they got.
Well, we've got one more match left for tonight. It's going to be Western Colorado going against UCSB. That is University of California, Santa Barbara, in a Division IV Rocket League matchup. Don't go too far, but make sure to hydrate, grab a snack, and kick up with us. More NECC right after this.
Welcome, everybody, to the NECC exclusive interview with Polar. It's great to have you here. Thanks so much for taking the time.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me on.
You at Cumberland University, just itself, after Harrisburg, seemed to be a great fit, whether it's the culture or the team or whatever. Things just seem to be like a home for you. Can you talk about what about this school just feels right for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, Cumberland just does it different compared to any team in collegiate I've ever seen. Cumberland just does it completely different. I feel like we're treated more as like a traditional sport as well as professionals. And I mean, even so, like the start of the semester, you've got 100 people. There's like 100 people in this program come down, do like a 3-week boot camp. Right, we're doing like physical exercises every day, games. We're all split into teams, competing for points. And I just feel like here at Cumberland, I think they're building something bigger than just kind of like a collegiate esports team. Like it's more like everyone supports everyone. Everyone is friends with everyone. Like it's a genuine community and family. And I think that really helps kind of like uplift you, right? Like it motivates you to know that there are people that are supporting you every single time you're playing. And I think especially for me, I think I've come here and I've met some great people. Biggest shout out to my director. My director's done a lot for me, and I think that's my main source of motivation whenever I'm playing. Like, as long as he's got my back, I know that I've got the confidence to win any game. So,
what is one tool you guys can utilize to sort of repair that team ability? What comes to mind?
Stop doing too much. That's kind of like the main thing. It's always just like stop doing too much on the ball and just start playing for the team. Like this is the most important thing like you can do, especially against these like better teams. Consistency is what wins games, and something that when I was playing back in EU, the biggest thing is we didn't want to be the team that got upset by a bubble team, going into the main event. So it's like play consistent, play normal Rocket League. And when you get the opportunity to, do whatever you want. But before that, make sure you're hitting the ball properly.
That goes a long way, huh?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Could you name one just goal that your team has for this season as a Collegiate Rocket League team? Maybe it's top 4, maybe it's a trophy, maybe it's just to have a fun time at a LAN or to dominate league play. Whatever it is, what do you most want to achieve this season?
We turn up to everything wanting to win. Every single time. Every single time, full confidence, wanting to win every single thing we play.
Love that.
I don't think anyone's out of reach. I think teams are harder than other teams, but no one is out of reach in CRL. And yeah, we want to turn up.
I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first, but I've only stumbled over diamonds and I no longer fear the worst.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the final match of the evening here for NECC. For the final time, I am Hale Monkey Man alongside Pyro, and we're getting into it. It is a West Central matchup here in Division 4, as we're getting the Mountaineers out of Western Colorado going against, well, it's still up for debate. UCSB, Santa Barbara, they'll be bringing us around the bend.
We believe it's the Gauchos, but UCSB is what we'll go with tonight. So excited to see these two teams compete, as there's been some excitement, Hail Monkey Man, between the Twitch chat, the lore drops, the costumes that we're hearing these players sport.
Yeah, Noe the Crab literally has a crab costume that they play in and on stages. So I don't know if they're playing in it right now, if it's a comfort to be the crab. Crabs have big claws, so I wonder how well that works, trying to be able to hold a controller. Maybe they're a keyboard main, or maybe just a mouse, just holding it right in the pincer. Either way, it's our final best of 7 of the evening. Let's kick it off.
I think some pincers might help with a good pincher. Maybe a pinch on the goal line, a pinch near the net as Coffee saves the first one already. Division 4 Rocket League here at NECC getting started off hot.
If Noe scores, I want claws in the chat. I want only crabs in the chat from all of the Noe knowers.
Full crab rave.
To make sure, yeah, crab dance, crab rave, yes, that better be happening. But it's Western Colorado that is directly under fire first, as Christian and the gang are trying to make this one work out. Not to deny everyone else their own entries, but it's also UCSB. See, we have actually one of their alumni as our producer, so maybe there's a little bit of favoritism, a little bit of love to try and get these guys going hot.
Maybe. I'm a little saddened here. Oh, Coffee will be as well, as Icky will pick off that glorious opportunity, because we had Ithaca blue on orange earlier. Now we got UCSB blue on orange. It's throwing me off, and maybe it's a decoy mechanism against their opponents. Who knows? At this point, we even had Cam on the orange team repping a blue decal, so we're all over the place today, as is Picky. No boost, no chance at that shot.
Crimson on blue, blue on orange,
Yeah.
red on blue. It's all 3D glasses and everyone trying to just get their vision going. Noe hoping to crab rave their way upfield, as it's been 90 seconds, a lot of perimeter play in a general sense, kind of slowing down from our previous Div 1 play, but still with pretty pivotal control. This one's gonna come off of it, and Coffee will be dunking that one into the cup.
Hey, I'm going for my second cup. You gotta run it back. Why not? Coffee putting it in reverse for the backflip, which has been, I would say, our mechanic of the day, Hell Monkey Man. Somehow, some way, putting in the backflip scores goals.
Reverse gear, backflip, win. It's just profits. Oh, Adam, wait, back pass. Love what I'm seeing out of WCU. Mountaineers just out-thinking the competition right now out of Santa Barbara, but still couldn't get it between the pipes. Noe the Crab with a big demo as Picky goes down. Is that just on target? No. Noe will deny, and they take the boost.
Still thinking about that play from Adam that was like around the world, but failed to plant his flag really anywhere. Nearly had it with that infield connection. This one, the Crab may have to prance around for, as that one fell right in front of their net, but fortunately for them, no one from UCSB ready to finalize the play. Christian up towards Nova. That's blocked well by Coffee. It's a good read from WCU here on defense as they look to outlast.
UCSB has had some really solid presences upfield into Western Colorado territory, but they haven't been able to get at least some credit to it in the form of ones and zeros. Well, the zero's still there. Christian hoping to keep it just much that and more. This one goes from end to end. Noe the Crab. It's those claws, man. They're a little bit too wide, trying to find it from pipeline to pipeline. Adam with a giveaway to a teammate in Coffee, who has the lone score here for game number 1.
Yeah, but they might need someone to block that second goal that's coming through. It's the Crab to set up for Adam.
Nice demo, I would say, but the smokescreen ended up with a double commit with all of UCSB trapped on the right side. Even with the one skirting through, keeping the consistent effort to just consistently be in their back line. Coffee sees Noe as an option. Flip reset. He's trying to at least delay it beyond Picky and Christian. But this has been just burning time that UCSB cannot afford. We got 100 seconds to go, and WCU Crimson hoping to just burn through what's left on this clock.
Might be able to do so without UCSB getting their chance, their shot. But Nova takes their shot with the bump in the back pass combination. Follow through doesn't find its way to the net, though. Adam, a glorious sail across the pitch. That air dribble, transferring possession into their wing. That one off the ceiling. Christian looking for a teammate, but they're rotating back. So just a little bit of added communication between both teams here would give them that extra flavor for maybe some better chances, but we're strung around by the midfield. That's an open net. Nova's going to take this shot. Picky back just in time for their 4th save of the game.
That needed to be hit just maybe a second or so sooner. It's going to be put back and wide. But still, with all this offense, it's been in replacement of a necessary defense. Every time that UCSB has been moving up the pitch, they've been very mute, very unable to break open what has been a very stagnant 0, and it's plastered there. 3-0, just over half minute remaining.
Yeah, very well. Adam has been taking advantage of every opportunity in the paint. We've had some slow rollers right outside the elbow. This one right in front of the net. And Adam, crisscross applesauce, whether it's a dribble, a dunk, or a drive to that goal line. He's there to seal the deal for WCU.
Saying applesauce, I'm feeling like pork chops now, man.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty good. I did have myself some soup. It actually had the wild rice and the chicken this time. So, yeah, so I'm well stuffed, but I'm gonna have that one later. 10 seconds left. UCSB Blue is gonna be hunting for a goal for later. It won't matter for now. They may find a consolation if they can be able to pick something up, but Picky is deleted. No with Crab. Everyone feeling the love on the side of the Mountaineers. That'll be the first game here in this best of 7. UCSB had some speed. Just got to be able to find their way to the back of the net. But that's going to be for game 2.
Well, they'll have time to do it. We talked earlier today about how these many of these divisions last season were hosting some best of 5s last season, all best of 7s this time around. So when I say they have time, they have at least 4 games to get their game together. And for UCSB, they don't have to fix the saves. Picky, again, had 4 of them, 6 total for the team, but they're probably looking to get those shot counts up.
What's crazy, too, if you look at the 13-4 shot counts, 13 shots by the Mountaineers, only 6 had to be saved. That means the other 7 went around the box. The more than half of your total percent of your shots was just perimeters. So think of what the score we did have and what we really could have had. And it was 100% save of the 4 shots being done by the Mountaineers. So anytime UCSB traveled upfield, it was answered by a Mountaineer player. And then the 4th man kind of showed up a couple times for UCSB.
But a lot of crossbar post MVP action. He is in post today. Will it continue to be delivered in that way, or will we see some precision shots? Speaking of which, Noe the Crab just there. It's gonna be more work by the bar.
That one goes clink, and this one might be in the bank. Oh my lord, what a save by Picky, denying Noe, but they're gonna have a 3rd chance as they dive in right around from an outside angle. A 4th shot in as many seconds it feels like. Looking for a dunk. Nay, a 5th? Coffee with no boost. Eventually, they were just tired of it.
And fair enough. Fair enough. Picky, I was talking about being the ultimate savior, has done so much, tries to pick off that shot as well. Intercepting path leads to an outward shot. But they still want to chomp at the bit here. High pass for Nova. Adam misses, and Picky does as well. Maybe didn't expect the whiff defensively, so has to rotate around for another chance at the ball. 0 boost, but still a dream to get over top of Noe the Crab. Crab gets to it, but they won't find the follow.
UCSB showing WCU how you do it if you're going to have a rapid multiplier. Eventually, they just couldn't be able to find themselves with momentum. There was no boost. They had 3 shots, everyone getting involved. Even if it's not a passing play, it's just about who can finally get that little gap. So a lot of shots to eventually come up in the first minute 15 with all of a single goal. WCU feels like they left something behind. A fastball will streak from right to left.
Couldn't quite make it happen on that chance, but no better way to get an easier opportunity at the net than to remove the goal line defenders. Demolition on Picky, the star-studded defender of your orange squad, and now they've respawned and over towards to take the shot, the turnaround, the jumper, the save once again from Noe the Crab.
Picky on the turnaround, and I feel like we have been talking, like you just said, about Picky a lot of the time whenever UCSB is finding some level of success. So WCU sees themselves pinned in a little bit longer than it's starting to be comfortable. Coffee is also a massive advocate for success offensively. This is going to ring off of the backboard. This presents an opportunity maybe for a Mountaineer to go north and south. They've been leveraging some of this outside box play. Things are slowing down. Starting to look a little bit familiar, but look how far Adam is. He's also that follow-up man in tow with Coffee a lot of the time. So they need to get him back upfield, and you're getting all the Mountaineers really stretched in this long line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and listen, I like having Adam in that position with Coffee because Adam, to me, has had the best mind offensively, carving out those unique lanes to score, and that's exactly what's needed. Being down one, they've got a demo, they've got Adam, they've nearly got the goal, but Nova drops on it.
Nova right in the totem pole stack between two blue players. WCU seeing if they can be able to get something. This is actually just going to be on target. What a save. That one out of Noe. It was on target for the most part in the middle meat of the net. And now it's WCU's Crimson's turn to be tested. As Yi will bring this one out and away. UCSB, this is just a one-goal situation. We've seen that before with the Mountaineers in that previous game. What more needs to be done? There's been some defense that's really stood up, and it feels like they finally put a man to every mission that the Mountaineers have brought forward. Fastball special off the front face, and that can't get through either.
That net just needs to be a little wider, a little taller, and we would have goal after goal. WCU continue to beat that bar, and could this finally be it? You're kidding me. Double save made on the line by NECC.
Oh, this is when you go to a hockey game, you look at your goalie and you tell him, you know what, you did a fantastic job. Pat on the back. I say that as well because I just got to read chat, and apparently Adam and Coffee are hockey players together. So they do the double work. They're dual sport athletes, esports and traditional sports. Love seeing that from out of these awesome players. These students so far, they're going to have to go learning as they're yearning for their first goal. The Mountaineers giving UCSB all this defense can handle, and apparently they can handle it really well.
So far, so good, but 30 seconds still for UCSB to get a clean sheet. And Nova, that's going to be difficult on zero boost there. Adam getting bumped just to try to stay together on the paint. Now it's Coffee. Full boost to work with, but just another lane closed by this UCSB defense. 10 more seconds, and they'll have earned their win. Nova long clear, Coffee to meet, puts it center. Noe is doing their best to stay in the play, but they've got no boost. What can you do in a situation like that? Nearly nothing. UCSB tie up the series.
A sweat fest of a 1-0. I will be so excited to see the amount of saves. In fact, it's only 5. But you had 9 of those put up by WCU. Felt like they were definitely testing so much. Maybe the game doesn't exactly count some of the touches as shots, but they were in the face of UCSB early and often, especially towards the end point of that game. And UCSB stayed focused, stayed disciplined, and stayed directly in the way of any Mountaineer that came to that back line. So now we've got a contest of defenses, but not at all absent from this high-flying offense. It's just the scores aren't going through.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Listen, this UCSB team has had so many angles, different styles on shots, and probably the amount of times that I could try pronouncing Yixi's name. Yikeski? Yikeski? I'm going to keep trying. We had pronunciation set by the teams, and that was not the name that they said he would have, but that's okay. We'll get there, just as both teams are going to try to get to their second win.
I'm about to just call him Yeezy. I don't know. That's all I've got. They said one person's name would be Cash and another one was Pong Lee, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm reading out there. I don't know. Maybe English has changed.
Yeezys.
I'm okay with. I'm thinking Yeezy, right?
That's what I
Yeezys.
needed, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I was hip with it. I knew what was going on. I'm not too old. All right.
Apparently I am. So I'm glad you're here. Hell, Monkey Man, here in the booth with me to get game 3 underway.
Well, first half minute. Oh my goodness! It continues to be a Control C and a Control V of game 2. UCSB being tested. It doesn't matter where the shot is coming from. They put a car on it, and they are just not letting WCU have any open looks.
Oh, wow, what a stuff. There's no way this goal doesn't finally come through, though. WCU have ended the drought.
Adam bumping Nova. They put a sweeper on the line. They're like, you know what? If you're able to get a single touch to every single one of our shots, we just got to be able to play dirty. We got to play rough. We got to make sure that you are going to be tested from the open to the close. Coffee. Now he's given a lot of space. Flip reset. But Picky's going to pick his pocket.
Picky's been the ultimate denier. I like the comparison of being a thief here. Just one way or another. Taking away these opportunities, intercepting angles. Normally on the goal line, but that one was, yeah, a quick stop on an aerial play that otherwise for Coffee on the reset could have been deadly. So Picky just has a good way of being aware of some deadly situations and diffusing them.
You definitely see other divisional games where if someone is starting to go to the sky and they're uncontested, that ends up just being a goal, especially if you have a high mechanical player that ends up onto these awesome programs. But when you have another squad that is challenging, especially probably from a backboard defensive position, that is the mark of some good experience that has been able to develop, especially into these teams that are moving on up in the world, especially here in NECC. 2 minutes about to be gone. 1-0. But on the opposite side of the color of your scoreboard, Yeezy's getting challenged almost immediately by Coffee. You won't let him exit from the framework here of our quadrilateral box.
Oh!
Coffee, he had a shot, especially off that bump, and they can't get that split between the two defenders.
A barreling bump that was. Sent him in orbit, yet that shot just wasn't enough to get it through. Strategies are there. Once again, some of the shot taking just needs to be sharpened by both teams, really. UCSB with their opportunity at it, but kind of jumping on top of each other here. Yeezy had a look. I think it was taken away by Peaky. It's given a chance here now to Noe the Crab. Dunk it on through.
Crab Brave, you know what to do. Dude wears a crab costume. That means you got a crab about it. It's the extra tumble in the jungle on the opposite side post. Not the first, but the second. Slip slap. Moves on in. Mountaineers 2-0 past the midway mark of game number 3. UCSB, they play very tight contests. Oh, and they nearly get these dunks. Trying to find a couple.
Wow, well, UCSB, credit to them. They're trying to get a response, and they're trying to do it fast. That's a dunk for Nova. That ends up to the corner. Coffee on low boost to handle this ball, which ends up being a difficult job, but they make it look easy. Great flip into the ball, and then a second block on the play. Coffee doing a lot with a little.
So what they can do from the mid-floor as WCU Crimson would love to run up the score just a little bit. You've already got the insurance. Well, why not a bit of extra flair? Force UCSB to play a very, very limited game. I think they've only gotten, what, 1 goal at most? What did they get in game number 1? Refresh me, because they got a 1-0 to be able to win in game number 2. Did they only get that 1 goal as well in game 1?
Seems as if our short-term memories are a little bit similar here.
Oh, no.
Feels like a 1-0, but we'll have to check the stats.
Either way, that means that this offense is finding it difficult to navigate, to move beyond the mountains. Whereas the Mountaineers, their pickaxes are moving rocks just fine.
Yeah, they are. But it feels like moving mountains just to score here for UCSB. A top corner shot gets set away. How about the counter, though, from the Crab? At it again.
Over and over again, huge clear. They had one player flying on by. Noe gang, all right, if you're gonna use the crabs, use them safely. I don't know what timed you out last time, but use just enough. Either use a lot or very little. Either way, crabs in the chat.
I want the exact amount of crabs to be tested in the Twitch chat. And I want every shot to be seen here from Noe. Nicely done, though, by UCSB. They saw the shot coming. They turned it away. And they've got a second chance pick. He still just can't find it between the uprights. Tragic.
So many times and then so little return, especially when you have the constant return of the WCU Crimson squad. Nova, they had to at least challenge into Adam, but they worked off of a fantastic ricochet play from that 45 corner. So UCSB, they've been very, very restricted on how they're going to be at least finding success be around this pitch. And it feels like for this last half minute, I mean, 4-0 is already tough to deal with. It could have been a fifth. And these defensive tests are starting to wear them down.
Yeah, I think the problem right now for UCSB is the more that WCU score, the more confident they become. And what really is going to be a difference maker in this match is confidence, because it's going to allow these players to shoot more accurately, something UCSB desperately needs moving into this next game as WCU take the lead.
UCSB has done very well through first halves of games to keep them into narrow margins. The problem is that they are going into these playing an exhausting play style. When you are matching 1-for-1, when you must answer those offensive efforts coming out of the Mountaineers, you have to play nigh perfect. Can't play zone, you're playing man. And UCSB, if they cannot keep up with the speed, that ultimately then opens up gaps for WCU, especially with them developing some of that early physical play that then forced them into a tough position later in that game. Yeah. Then you're just going to be finding a lot of mistakes being developed. UCSB must dictate offensive presence on the other half of the pitch and make WCU sweat.
Yeah, not get worn down and beaten down, because as you said, with the physical play, with everything, it felt like once they were worn down, they could attack, and WCU took advantage of that situation. Now you got a break between games. Now you can reset. Now you can try to get things moving again here for Game 4.
Game 4 online. Can WCU get to match point? Can UCSB get themselves dead even in the series? The one they won was a 1-0. That's not the way the Rocket League players want to play. They want to see the explosions. That's why they buy all those rocket passes. It's not for just seeing it one time. But big demo. Noah the Crab gets rid of the Yeezys. Coffee, we'll see this one squared away. That's going to be a shot. Big save. Yeezy comes back for it.
Okay, Yeezy. We saw the double save a couple games ago. Now we're seeing the big goal line plays being made. Very nicely done to keep this game knotted up in zeros. Again, two very important jobs to be done here by UCSB after the 4-0 loss. Offense and defense.
A lob touch becomes a loose ball play, and WCU has tracked those down pretty well. But this is also something that UCSB was really capitalizing on when it came to working against Western Colorado, and that's challenging. Just seeing if anything would defensively drop in error. And sometimes it does, by their extra efforts. Noah the Crab, he's not going to get away from it. He doesn't have to. He's going for the dunk. That is nearly in. Adam will get his name printed on it. But look at this end-to-end run.
I'll believe that shot when crabs fly. Hold on. I think I just saw one. Adam puts the kisser on it to close. But that crab in flight was something else.
It was beautiful. Sometimes they say that crabs have to give up a limb, give up an arm just to make a predator go away. Well, that was Noe flying in with about 8 of them. Didn't even care. It was all pincers all the time. That one will crawl up that near side post. UCSB and these raccoons, they're trying to find what's left in the garbage. And apparently it's going to be just a couple of extra treats, but they must walk away as consistently being pounded upon. Coffee's going to have another shot, and they're just taking them all on.
I'll tell you what, another man's trash is another man's treasure. I feel really like this UCSB team, even in the slums of it, can get their way out, crawl out with something pearly, something shiny, something of a goal that they haven't got here in a game and a half.
Ooh, Adam's already up. Oh, wow. Okay. Nova got in his way. This is gonna be this is extra effort. You're seeing Nova get the crusher. They get the demo. They're looking for another one. If they'd gotten rid of Adam, Adam literally parked his car, just juked him out with his eyes.
Yeah, there's something about being stoic. I would say that was maybe too stoic from Adam, but it worked, so I can't criticize it. Adam now turns around for the shot, and that's saved well by Christian. I gotta say, UCSB, their defense has leveled up this game, but they still gotta get it converted on the other end. Adam with the save this time around again. On low boost, Crab trying to do their aerial work again, but no, he denied, and Yeezy to the sky.
Oh, that was a pause. They had just a little bit of apprehension to go for that next offensive opportunity. That possession was right in front of them, but they felt like they weren't able to get there. This is over the head of one, trying to link it in. They have another man in follow as Adam is right off of the corner, away from Noe. It's going to be Coffee that's getting the sweep. He gets rid of Nova. There's no boost here for the Mountaineers. It doesn't really matter because UCSB is very much locked into the cave of wonders that is their back net. Now you have a one-on-one. Can't do much with it. Nova off the 50-50, and Noe will get a big booming clear, less than 2 minutes to go.
I feel like UCSB, not really the team you want to just transfer possession to like that with the long clear. They've handled these defensive situations really well in this game, and look at them carve a path on the counterattack as well. They're trying to command this new attack, but Coffee has had the read on it. Adam, potential shot here. Double save comes through. Christian plays the next role, and now the teammates will scavenge for boost.
This would be one of the lowest differentials, or at least one of the lowest total score games in favor of WCU here now through 4. If this scoreboard holds as is, they get a man possessed with Adam flying away. Coffee was actually underneath that, but he called him off. Noe with a big kick up and catch. Still, USCSB has been unable to develop their offense. They've found moments where they can kind of plink around the perimeter, but they haven't made a moment that is all theirs. WCU, they are freewheeling and just dealing through, having to deal with UCSB, but they still only got the 1-0. This can flip in a moment.
Yeah, listen, they haven't developed the attack, but they've developed the defense. 11 saves so far. They may have needed a 12th, but the shot is missed by Noe. Christian with the block, and now the half-court line. There's got to be a play here. That's going to be tough to block, but Christian, the savior, getting it away.
Needing another one. They've got to move forward. This has got to be a shot. Outside angle. Can they prep it? They have a third man. He's off angle. He's trying to cut in, looking for one more. Is there a second man? They retreated. Now this is one. It's going to be going in. Noe! He's dancing forward. That most assuredly will put us within reach of a match point.
There's one thing I know about crabs in gaming, and it's the eternal nuisance in Mario Kart. Those sideways moving crabs are always such an annoyance, and Noe the crab, whether it's the goal at the beginning or the goal at the end, closes the deal. For WCU, they will go on to win their 3rd game and be on match point for our NECC Division 4 matchup.
Looking for that last little moment. UCSB, they all came very close up to the box, but look to the furthest right side column that is not the green ping. 18 shots to 2. UCSB,
that's normal.
They may have developed their defense, but the rest is missing.
Just can't believe those numbers. You said it earlier. You said it actually a couple hours ago, Hail Monkey Man. One team that never really once is that the casters just can't stop talking about their defense because, well, we're forced to. You don't play much of anything else. And for me, UCSB earlier in the series, like they were getting possessions, they were getting chances to score. It's just the shot accuracy needed to be sharpened, refined just a bit. Now we're not getting a whole lot of time on possession, so something's got to shift. You know, maybe on these saves, you start playing a little riskier. Have a player move up the field once the clear comes and you can direct it into a quick counterattack. Get the passes moving, the connections flowing. Something has to give. And it starts now. Match point for WCU.
Something's got to break. And if the UCSB gang doesn't want it to be them, well, they've got to break out. Can't live on orange grass for this long, or WCU will just pin them in completely. They will run them out of town. Trying to play this into a 1v1. Christian hoping to get around Noe, but he played fantastic shadow defense. Picky has one man to beat. If he can be able to get it from the sidewall, it's got a chance to it. Oh man, the pre-jump from the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, wow.
You know what? They're letting it all hang loose.
Might as well here. Put it all out on the field. And I need a correction here. Is this Christian's first game in the series, or have we had him?
No, they've been here.
Okay, they've been here. I saw Nova pop in, pop out. So we got the roster deep here out of UCSB, but pretty much everybody present on the goal line. WCU, ready or not, here they come.
That's actually a good note. I had not been noticing that they had moved people around. So trying to get this roster back and forth, see who's basically the better kind of maybe technical flip to try and make the best use of this position. So as they bring in Picky, now they see what hits the best. So Picky is in. And some teams also do this by both choice or sometimes default. They're like, all right, this is how we're going to rotate through each game. I'm not sure exactly if they're just saying, all right, let's just go to what we feel like might be the best in this moment or otherwise.
It's hard to tell, especially when we talk about Rocket League being such a team game and designing strategies, getting that flow with your teammates. Sometimes keeping a squad out there can help a lot. It can help build those neuron connections almost between players. But nevertheless, UCSB, one way or another, they got to get this goal to go, and it's pass over to Yeezy. They could just do it. The follow-up's nice. It's a dunk. It's a follow for Christian. Is it in? You got to be kidding me.
Oh, Adam, he drummed the drum. He's able to get them to a beat they're not ready for. Holy cow, just bopping them and stopping them straight at the post. That one was dead on arrival, and UCSB feels like they should have a score. But it's still just Mountaineers looking for another to add to the total as Yeezy will stop Noe for the moment. Wow, the second effort to reach over their car and just denies UCSB. That's got to be one of those backbreakers.
I mean, if I'm UCSB, I'm rubbing my eyes and I'm trying to figure out if I'm really in reality right now. Like, have we really not scored? Even that approach. But if anything, that needs to burn a hotter fire. You've got to get more turned up and ready to turn out, get loose, and get a goal in this back half of the game.
Flip outwards, and WCU wants to go right back to the works. Adam will bring it to the corner, and even if Western Colorado pins this one to the perimeter, it is at such a detriment for right now where UCSB is chasing ghosts and chasing time. And every second that ticks off this clock is far less than what UCSB absolutely needs to try and move beyond this defense. WCU, we talk about the defense that's leveling up for UCSB, but they have really been able to overwhelm in the form of offense. Picky finds two punches, one into Adam and one to the ball, but Adam found the ball and boost. Less than 100 seconds at this point in time. They need a goal.
Noe turns on this. Awaits the advancement. Easy. Has to turn around and just pick up pads, but this is a good advancement now. Like this for Picky. Ball's off the backboard. Someone's got to follow that. Christian eventually is there. And Yeezy may play for the solo maneuver. Tops up on boost. Sets up for the solo play. Flips it to the center. That's a pass over to Picky. A shot chance, but they're stepping on each other's toes again. UCSB once again just can't get through.
It's not everyone trying to be a hero, but it's a lot of players all trying to do that last little bits. You're seeing a chance right here. What a shot by Christian. That one picked up by Noe. They actually had a double save between them. They are challenging correctly. Take one man. Stay disciplined into that gap. Seeing if you can challenge. Just make a threat happen. Noe from the sidewall. 40 seconds to go. WCU Crimson is trying to sign, seal, and deliver this series out. That back touch was ambitious, but they knew Adam could take it.
Back to the orange corner. Christian gonna take it over, and I really thought I had a play to come up with, but Not when you're demoed off the field. Coffee out to Adam. He could call game with the shot downfield. That's it! Up 2 for WCU.
Back flipping second man. You had Christian on the ground. He was hoping to get up to it, but there was nothing more. It was already dead to rights. 2-0. UCSB may be sent packing with this one. WCU, a good bounce back week for them, is on the horizon with just 18 seconds left. Trying to go even 500. See if they can take down this in-divisional foe.
I mean, that should do it. Adam, figured they called game earlier, but if not then definitely now. The lob to the net to sink their team's third.
Re-up. Mountaineers, wave the crabs high. They had to break through this brick wall. And UCSB, there was times where it went crazy and times where they gave up a few too many. It's been a tough offensive road. They know what they need to work on, but WCU, a fantastic bounce back here into week number 2. They will be bringing this one into 4-1 fashion. Go Mountaineers, go Crabs. I'll take the victory tonight.
And again, for UCSB, this is one of those matches where you come away knowing that there's still more to this team, right? They're 1-0. They go 1-1 now. They still have a bright future in Division 4 of this NECC. Just comes down to that execution. Comes down to that faith you got in your teammates and making the roles work. But conversely, WCU, how about the highlight moments? We had the double tap on the goal line from Noe the Crab. We had some crazy double saves from Yeezy as well. I had to call that out too. But Adam being a closer, Coffee pretty much facilitating in every way you could possibly imagine. Hail Monkey Man, shout out to the WCU fans because they got a lot of excitement to tune into.
Very much so. And I feel like there's some good looks for them to transition outwards, and they're going to be looking at this. And please know, we had fun with the Crabs, but also it's a completely unbiased thing. The Crabs were cool, but still, we want to see USB and USBC as well as all of the these awesome squads be able to fly. So thank you guys so much for being fun in the chat. That's the kind of love that we want to give to every single one of these divisions, especially across the collegiate sector. That's what all of this is kind of made for. Also, shout out over to all of our sponsors and all of the squads that are able to make this possible. That's Extron, by Blue Light, and of course, Winslow's Farm. You get those meat sticks. It's just exactly what you want. You get some extra energy. But also, Pyro. We gotta thank our producer and Chippy. They had to see the suffering of UCSB go down, but they've been putting our faces out there and making us look good.
Chippy had to do a lot today between the crazy delays with the game update, with the potential DQs of other teams. Handled a lot today. So huge shout out to our producer in the background for making everything work today. And Hail Monkey Man, thanks for doing it by my side.
Always a pleasure, man. Of course, thank you guys out there for being with us. And of course, we got League of Legends tomorrow. So if you want to be able to see some cool MOBA stuff that I totally started playing in 2009, but I just did not keep up with, make sure to check us out. Same bad time, same bad channel. That's going to be Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are in the rest of the United States, just do -1 for everyone that you're in. It's also Overwatch 2 on Friday. So there's still plenty of NECC action. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to a Halo land. So I hope all of you are safe out there. Give some love to Pyro. Make sure to hit up Chippy and also continue to be great in your spaces. I'm Hail Monkey Man. Everyone here, you've all been fantastic. Y'all have a great night.
You are the calm to my just what I deserve.